Joyce, I have a question for you, and this may be difficult to answer. Do you believe that the spirit of your husband Merle haunts the Kent stage?
If anybody is there, it'll be Merle.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Popcorn and candy are a thing of the past at the Kent Stage. No longer just a movie theater, the Kent Stage hosts a wide range of events. As a result of these events, many of the theater's guests and employees have reported paranormal activity throughout its many years of active service. The spirit activity within the brick walls of this theater have made echoes throughout the city of Kent. Some of these experiences have been published in books, magazines, and the local news. Among all of the spirits that are thought to inhabit the historic Kent Stage, none is more well known or respected than Merle poet one Mollenkopf.
And this heart of mine tells me the dead are multiplying like the daffodils. It is a spreading stigmata.
The building was constructed in 1927 under the ownership of Flanagan and Steele Theater. In 1937, Shine's Theater took over the business and continued to share motion pictures for many years. Before a feature presentation, the theater would showcase various kinds of performance acts on the stage. Not much is known regarding the specific types of performances that were conducted on the stage. Some speculate that they were musical acts or possibly short plays. Some of the claims of activity within the theater include apparitions, disembodied voices, objects moving on their own, and even physical contact. Having only just scratched the surface of what is known about the Kent Stage, we decided to meet with one of the business owners, Rochelle Charlton, to learn more. Okay, I'm here with Rochelle, wife of Tom, who is one of the owners of the Kent Stage. Many believe that the Kent Stage is haunted, and Rochelle is here to tell us a little bit about that.
I was bringing things from the kind of the concession area through these doors, down through the theater into the green room area. And on one of my trips, I opened the door with kind of a handful of stuff.
Yep.
And as I stepped through, the sparkly lady, as we all called her, was moving pretty rapidly toward me.
Okay.
And we ended up colliding. So
Colliding.
yes, I felt like a giant sort of static electricity kind of shock. I was tingly everywhere.
Rochelle, what happened here?
I came into the green room area. There's a door like right here, and this door was closed at the time. And I came around and put my hand on the door to go down to the to the basement. And at that time, felt these hands on my back. It was definitely like hands, and I got turned around and what I call propelled at a rather fast pace out of this room, across the stage, down. There were some steps in the front at that time. Down the steps, through the theater, and out the doors to the concession area.
I gotta say, I think that if that would have happened to me, I would have left the puddle right here.
So we actually took flashlights and stuff and opened the door, and you could see water down in the tunnel area. But yeah, he had to go shut the electricity down for like this part of the building in order to go down, and he unplugged stuff. If I would have
Went down there.
gone down there, I would have been not here anymore. I would have been passed over.
That kind of led me to a thought here. This room has some significance to it. This is the room that the theater guardian, Woody, or Albert DeVos, has passed away in.
Yes.
Do you believe that it's possible that the spirit of Woody may have saved your life, like kept you from going downstairs and being electrocuted in the flooded basement? Do you think that's
I think that's entirely a feasible explanation for that. I mean, I think that definitely had to have been one of the Kent Stage spirits.
So we made our way down into the catering room. What has happened in this room, Rochelle?
Actually, many things have happened Laura Lynn had an interesting thing happen. We had a ghost hunt one night. She was down here with a pretty large group of people. And at that point in time, there was a big round table down here and this table that was on the floor, like literally levitated up off of the floor. And Laura did like just to see if anybody was trying to, although it would be really hard for one person.
One person to lift it up, kind of.
You couldn't stick your fingers under there. The whole table just slammed down on the floor.
Am I in the right spot, Rochelle?
This area is pretty interesting. A lot of people have come into contact with a little girl by the name of Alice Ann.
They leave their child spirit behind. The child spirit never dies, never changes.
So this is the famous little girl of the Kent stage then? The one that you hear giggling and running. Who's identified her as Alice Ann?
Samantha Wilmot, she is a
Okay, I know her.
comedian.
Yep.
So Alice Ann is there, very playful down there, and she sometimes shows up here at the Kent stage, and she's pretty identifiable. Sometimes you can hear her giggle.
Oh.
And then she is a tugger. She likes to tug on people to get their attention, just like a little kid would.
So Rochelle,
Yes.
this area right here holds some significance to the Kent stage as well. A lot of people, I'm told, have seen what is referred to commonly as the shadowy man.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about this shadowy man?
A number of people have seen him for years, ever since we have been opened, and usually he's seen down in this area somewhere, but every once in a while people will see him in the balcony. I've had him walk by me when I was over by the balcony one day. That was a little kind of unnerving because I was doing something, and then
Okay.
the shadow man walks by. Laura Lynn came over here, and we were going to meet, and we were going to decide where to put different things and how to do the setup.
Okay.
So I came, and Laura was facing this direction, so I flipped the lights on, and she said, "There's a man standing down by the exit sign," and I said,
Right here? Or right?
No, she said, "There's a man standing down there," and I said,
Okay.
"Oh, is he by the exit sign?" And she said, "Yes," and I go, "Oh, that's just the shadowy man."
Nice.
And she just looked at me, and then she goes, "Well, let's go see it." So we sat here, in these theater seats, and she communicated with him. He was saying that he had been part of a quartet at one time, and that his quartet used to come on Sundays once in a while and be some of the music. They used to have music or comedy or something like that right before the movies.
What presence is felt in this area where we're seated right now?
That would be Merle Mollenkopf.
But that's when he heard about the ghost walk, he said immediately
He had to be a part of that.
He had to be a part of that, and that's where he had to be.
Because Merle was on top of everything else, Merle was a storyteller.
Yeah.
And
he was good at it.
Right, he was very good at it. He could captivate people with his stories, and he jumped at the opportunity to be a part of the ghost walk.
Absolutely. Every time he had an opportunity, he took it.
Merle was the very first person that was on the stage when it was the Kent stage. He opened our theater for us. He's the poet laureate of Kent.
Okay.
And he supported our theater through all of our years. He came to many shows.
That theater was as much a part of him as this house was.
If he had his own poetry show somewhere, he would talk about people should come to the Kent stage and support it. If he was on the radio for any reason, he would always mention the Kent stage. So Merle loved this theater probably as much as we did, and we feel like he is still with us at times.
Joyce, I have a question for you, and this may be difficult to answer. Do you believe that the spirit of your husband Merle haunts the Kent stage?
If anybody is there, it'll be Merle. So it would not surprise me if the next time I walk in there and sit down there by his chair, that I don't feel that he's sitting there and holding my hand, as we used to do.
After having spoke with Joyce about Merle and Rochelle and the many experiences that she and others have had, we were granted permission in order to conduct our formal paranormal investigation of the Kent stage. We placed the camera in the center of the auditorium. Then we quickly moved over to the basement in order to set up camera number 2. After that, we decided to place a camera facing toward the projection room. Next, we decided to set up a camera pointing towards the right side of the stage. With hopes of capturing a single anomaly from 2 positions, the camera was placed to the left of the stage. Then we stationed the camera pointed at Woody's room, who is also referred to as the theater guardian. Making our way down into the tunnel, we immediately settled another IR camera. While below the stage, we moved over to the catering room in order to capture some of the more violent activity that has taken place at the Kent stage. And then lastly, our thermal video was set up in the general direction of seat M15. Our goal was to catch a glimpse of the legendary Merle Mollenkopf. When I first heard this EVP, I got really excited. As I was leaving the stage, it appears as though a voice that I didn't hear at the time and a person I didn't see said, "Bye."
It's cool, man. Don't worry about it.
To me, that's excellent spirit interaction.
I think this is a beautiful case of interaction as Eric's leaving the room. I have no problem calling this a Class A EVP.
Eric leaves and he gets the spirit to say goodbye to him. Couldn't ask for anything more.
To me, it was just a real honor to have had this experience. I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
All right, so one thing I could say about the hallway is I've heard a lot of different teenagers and kids seem to run around there. So that could have been an EVP that we picked up from girls. I'm not sure.
Our evidence review expert Tom did a phenomenal job of hearing this Class B EVP. We're classifying it as a Class B because we're not really sure what's being said.
This to me sounds like some girls in distress. I wish I could help them out.
I really am not sure what to make of this one.
I think possibly this is a residual EVP of a woman who seems to be upset, and to me it sounds like she's starting to cry.
So strange. You just said that word. I'm hearing this song. Keep yourself. What's that word? That Queen song.
It's me. Sorry.
Keep yourself alive. No. That Queen song.
I don't know.
Which song?
It's like keep yourself. Does not keep yourself alive.
Staying Alive by the Bee Gees?
No, this is Queen.
Another one bites the dust?
No.
That's not a lie.
No.
We're the champions.
No.
Bite the dust.
We will rock you. Fat bottom girls.
Who just whispered?
That's what I'm wondering. Who
I
just
just heard
whispered?
that too.
Who just whispered?
Maybe I did. I might have been singing to myself.
It wasn't a singing.
No.
Bite the dust.
We will rock you. Fat bottom girls.
Who just whispered?
That's what I'm wondering. Who
I
just
just heard
whispered?
that too.
Who just whispered?
Maybe I did. I might have been singing to myself.
It wasn't a singing.
I don't know. I don't know if I didn't whisper on purpose.
Did you guys heard it too?
I think I picked it up on here.
I heard it
Are
again.
you sure it wasn't like my lisp or something?
No, I heard it.
Okay.
In my left ear.
Okay, because I heard it too.
Yeah, I kind of really feel ridiculous getting caught singing. I don't know what I forgot that I was being filmed, but I'm really happy that it worked really well because it seemed like they just enjoy that interaction.
I'm really not sure if that was a disembodied voice or an EVP. To me, when the guy said they had heard it, I'm not sure if they heard it through their equipment or if they heard it with their own ears.
It's pretty cool, considering how really dumb the conversation we were having was, that we actually got some interaction, which I guess goes to show you music transcends all planes of existence.
What a great honor to hear my name being said by the spirits here at the Kent stage. It's like being in school and having the cool kids know who you are.
But it was very clear and it was very, a great EVP, nothing else.
So this is one of the creepier rooms in the Kent stage, and it does seem to have a host spirit that's a little bit more aggressive. I think we picked him up on this EVP.
I'm having trouble trying to.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Me yawning.
No, that was like, I heard like a...
Now I just heard a whisper.
It's like I heard like a...
I'm having trouble trying to.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Me yawning.
No, that was like, I heard like a...
Now I just heard a whisper.
It's like I heard like a... No one else heard that type sound?
I inhaled a little bit and I yawned.
And it would be that noise?
I went,
No.
There was a little bit of stress in the room at that moment, and what was happening was Eric was frustrated because he really wanted to help some spirits. He wanted to interact a little bit more, and I was saying, hey, let's just talk, let's do it, let's work through this. This is the way to communicate with spirits.
I really just want to communicate.
Well, that's how you do it. These conversations, that's what I was talking about upstairs. That's how you get the interaction with them, I think, like you're doing. I think they appreciate that.
I mean, what can we do to help?
If they need help, they're gonna say help.
Yep.
Did it get colder in here?
I get a lot of activity in this place. A lot of activity. It's a very, very interactive place. I think that you're going to be surprised how much did come through tonight. And we did leave then, and I do believe a spirit was trying to communicate, and we left a little bit quick.
Sometimes you just gotta say
I guess even spirits get frustrated. Other than that, I'm not going to touch it.
I'm really excited to do some more investigation in that room to see if they will communicate or if he will communicate again and say hello next time.
I like this EVP because I did sense a presence in the room, and this gave me confirmation of that presence.
And then it did seem to cuss at us a little bit. So if you can make the, I don't know how to do it.
You can touch its hands.
Is that alright if I moved it?
Yeah, you're fine.
Make the, I don't know how to do it.
You can touch its hands.
Is that alright if I moved it?
Yeah, you're fine.
This EVP is really awesome, and it's kind of creepy too.
I'm in the dark. Creepy and cool. What else can you say?
I think that one is really so cool because it's saying here, I'm gonna do this, we're gonna interact.
It's kind of cool. A little bit creepy. I hope you all enjoy going to the bathroom by yourselves later.
This is the type of EVP that I would use as a learning tool to teach a friend that doesn't know about the paranormal.
It feels very like it's gonna really reach out to us and communicate, and it did.
In this clip, you hear the REM pod kind of go off a little bit, and then right after that I was caught off guard by what sounds like a woman's gasp. Then right after that, we hear another voice say, "I did it." It's pretty compelling for these series of events that take place in the order that they did.
Right behind you, and it feels like a grandfather type figure. I don't know if it's your grandfather or if it's...
No, I had two on my mother's side. Or one on my mother's side and one on my Grandpa Richard and my Grandpa Clarence.
Okay. Did you notice that the REM just went off, just a little spark a moment ago? It was right when you said the first REM. Can you say his name again?
Richard, everybody called him Dickie, or Dick.
Did somebody just inhale real quick?
I don't know if I did or not, I'm sorry. Say his name again?
Richard, everybody called him Dickie, or Dick.
Did somebody just inhale real quick?
I mean, I may have.
No, it sounded like a female. It would have been Laura. It went like that.
Did you hear it, Bobby? I don't know. I don't think I did.
But Laura, it went like that.
Did you hear it, Bobby? I don't know. I don't think I did.
It was startling.
I'm having trouble hearing through this. I haven't plugged in.
Bam! I did it! But I swear it wasn't me.
I really appreciate Laura doing this for me. Really meant a lot. Definitely feel the intense energy in that place.
Well, I definitely hear the sigh. And I definitely don't know who did it.
As far as the gasp and the yelling, or whatever people believe they hear with this, there's something there. I can't make out what it was, but if it's yelling or any of that, it would make total sense being one of my relatives, especially my grandfather, because yelling is really how we communicate in my family.
I really enjoyed the fact that we were able to close the evening in the bar entrance area of the Kent stage. That's my favorite spot in the whole building for catching spirit activity. And to end up with those EVPs and that spirit interaction, that really put a cap on the whole evening.
So you feel that Merle would be happy with the way that he's been portrayed in the video?
Yes, he would be. Yes.
And you
He
feel
was-
pretty good about it as well?
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think it shows the true side of Merle, who he really was, and sometimes we don't always know who people are after they're gone. But in this case, I think you have pretty much hit the mark, and I think he would be very pleased with how he was incorporated. I liked the way it was done. Oh yeah.
Merle was very active in the community.
Well, then he started going to the schools. He thought, I've got to teach these kids what poetry is all about. And so he went to the elementary schools, the middle schools, the high schools. Then he was invited to come to Kent State to talk to some of the teachers who were preparing to go into the field of teaching. And this is how you teach poetry, he would tell them. I think when I went through all his papers, I found hundreds of letters and cards and notes from kids. And some of them were written in crayon. I sat there for 2 days in that den surrounded by all these papers. And I saved some.
This is after he had passed?
Passed away, yeah.
You,
But that shows you the volume of people he talked to.
influenced.
He approved, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm only hoping that some of these people that he influenced will one day remember, hey, I remember that guy. He's the one that introduced me to poetry and writing, creative writing, and so on. Then he'd sit there and say, now, I want you to hear this. I want to read this to you. I'm sitting over here reading a book. And he said, I want you to hear this. So he rattled it off. And, well, what do you think? I said, one time I said, Merle, what are you trying to say? I don't understand what you're trying to say here. Rewrite it. He said, well, I kind of like it. So I was his sounding board, you know.
Okay.
Then he would say, who the heck is a poet in this house? You or me? You're the poet, I'm the critic.